So great to see you. I am excited to have this conversation because in a woman's community, which I've had for nearly 3 decades, there can be a lot of different energies when it comes to men and male teachers and male practitioners. And I understand that because there's been a lot of misbehavior. So why, Dr. Saida, did I bring in a man to teach such deep, intimate work for women? I want to answer that today. Aaron's here with me, so he'll get to advocate for really explaining where he's coming from with the practice. So first of all, in my entire career, I've met like so many practitioners, teachers, lineages, doctors, all kinds of research. I've looked at so many things, and no one had, until this point, come up with something called pleasure anatomy. And I really got to see Aaron's genius in this particular piece of pleasure anatomy. And I wanted every woman, every man, every human to have access to this. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. Aaron has developed his own system, his own method. And that method fits so beautifully with the method that I have developed on my own. So we converged those two together and decided to bring the wisdom, the combined wisdom. Now his wisdom is not theoretical. It's not academic, right, Aaron? Like you worked with how many women?
Well, over 1,000 women hands-on.
That's hands-on, yes.
Yes, and many of those women were dealing with, well, rather difficult cases of trauma.
Trauma, extreme pain, situations where women had given up hope, situations where they thought their marriage would be over. I mean, there's, and even some suicidal issues because there was so much pain and difficulty, and you were able to give these women a place to actually develop feeling better about themselves and actually having hope and even pleasure.
Well, and the beauty of the way that I work is that it's not about me. It's actually about giving skills for these women to be able to do this in their own lives, with their own partner, to be able to pass it on to, whoever it is, like, whether it's their children, whether it's like, their siblings. Like it's I mean, I remember even your dad had learned some things, and he was like, hey, let me get on a call with all my brothers.
And make sure that they learn something.
As well.
Well, I wanted to say, because I've brought you into my very intimate women's retreats to do this hands-on session. By the way, what we're doing with AWE is not hands-on work. It's you being guided to touch yourself. It has nothing to do with Aaron or me. It's just really you with you, held within a very safe container.
I literally will be holding a silicone model of a pelvis, and then I will be guiding you through where you're going to be touching, and then Saida is going to be doing the different pieces that I'm speaking about, which is how to breathe, how to move. I'll be moving the pelvis so that way then you can look very closely at what's going on here, notice with her body, and then be able to replicate it yourself.
Yeah, and for the internal things, we will use different ways of demonstrating that so that you understand the anatomy really well. But I just wanted to say, because you've come to my live retreats, and we do this kind of playful game where we pick a card, and it's like from our friend Michaela Boehm.
The female archetypes.
Yeah, the female archetypes. And over again, you keep getting the Empress of the Red Tent, which makes us all laugh hysterically because clearly you're not menstruating, but then you're the Empress of the Red Tent. But the thing is, your reverence and deep respect. That's why I have you there, to re-imprint in the female psyche what is a safe, healthy male who is sexually aware, very contained within his own energy. You know exactly where it is and what you're doing with it at all times, and making that available to women so that they can have a new orientation, that not all energies are like little baby boys grasping and taking from mama. They're not all predators who are just trying to harm and abuse, and they're not all sneak. Like, there actually are some genuine, true practitioners that happen to have a male body that have a lot of wisdom. I mean, in some ways, I think you know more about the female anatomy than a lot of women. And you've even had lesbians thank you for the education that you've given them. Just like, wow, they learned so much. So there is a gift to that. And as Aaron said, he will be doing, it's his method. So he's worked a lot with the cervix. He just is fascinated with the cervix. So he's going to bring all this knowledge, direct experience, through showing us on a model. And then just you and I, Aaron's not going to be in the space. It'll be just you and I. And we will be then doing a practice based on Aaron's suggestions. And then from there, we'll come back together and we'll have a Q&A, and we'll actually be talking and just kind of seeing what went right, what went wrong, what are you curious about, and answering all of those questions.
And this started really simply, though. I had a partner, and she was having pain that was starting to accumulate over time, and there seemed not to be any solutions for this.
And you've worked in female-only spaces with a midwife who was like, why do you want to work in this? You remember, what's the first book she sent you?
A book on ethics.
Exactly.
And
she's rightly so, because I felt the same. Like when I first met Aaron, like, who the heck is this guy? Why should I pay attention to him? But once I got to know him and really felt his integrity, felt his devotion to making sure that human beings really do have freedom and education and empowerment in this part of life, then that's when I started to align with working with you.
Well, I mean, I was going to say that, I haven't really pursued this career. Women started to come to me over a year-long period, and eventually...
they kept sending people to you, right?
Well, I mean, it was a very interesting time period. People would get into a conversation with me, they would start telling me about their personal life, and ever since I was a kid, I've always had people bring up their relationship issues, their sex issues, and so, but at this time period, though, a lot of women were coming to me in Denmark and just speaking about what was going on. And I said, well, I can't guarantee you anything, but there has been this kind of way of working with the body that I've been kind of experimenting with. And, that was like the first 100 or so women. And then eventually the very same midwife that had me go find this book of ethics, is now like, I'm hearing a lot about you because
she wanted an experience, and then she asked you to co-teach with her.
Well, it was the head of the Danish Psychology Union in Denmark had invited me onto her show, and I said, I'm not really a celebrity type, like, you can just talk about your experience, because she had a session with me and was just like, the world needs to know about this.
Yes.
And so when she then came out and spoke about me, the midwife heard about it, said, I want to find out what it is exactly that you are doing, because it seems beyond some of the little things that I had shown you. And so then from there, she said, you know what, you have this entire system.
You need to write.
You need to name it. And she started referring clients to me because she was saying, there are specific reasons, and you are right, Aaron, why a woman would come to a man, especially if that's where the violation has happened. There's certain bracing patterns, there's certain things that can come up when working with a man or with a man in the space. And that was a reflection that we got with Awaken the Sensual Woman, which was, over 165 women. And they were saying that having me in there started to give them a different understanding of possibility, and you're big on possibility, of how men can orient around this, which would then help them be able to bring this to their partners, but also just have a reconciliation inside themselves.
Yes. So, that said, if it's something that you're concerned with, just feel into the space. There's a lot of things on Embodied Love University that you can check out, just where we're co-teaching, Aaron's teaching, I'm teaching, and we're just coming together to put as much good information for you to use and feel empowered by. And this summer is going to be extraordinary. I'm very, very excited about it. So hopefully this explains why I brought Aaron in, but I just deeply trust him. I've been in sessions with Aaron, like live sessions, either coaching sessions or hands-on sessions, and it's been really, really phenomenal to observe the profundity, the healing. I mean, some of them were such extreme cases of trauma. It was quite stunning what would happen as the person really came back home into themselves under both of our guidance.
I just want to say thank you for doing this, because it really has been such an amazing opportunity to be teaching with you in this way, teaching doctors to change medical protocols, putting medical protocols together, building coursework, working with people in person, whether it's individual client sessions or in larger groups and workshops. And it has just become very clear that the gifts that you embody and the way that you invite women into possibility really matches the understanding of what you'll learn about your own sexual anatomy as a full body psyche emotional system as well as physical, and for some of you also talk about it even being a spiritual experience.
Absolutely.
You start to get this holistic understanding, and it's just truly a gift to be able to best pass these gifts on to you. And I simply have not had that combination of teaching around my life as I've had with you. And so I really would encourage you, just go ahead, check things out. Feel free to reach out to us
Exactly.
as well.
Any of your concerns, we'd love to hear about them, and we'd really love to see you inside the course.